Hey y'all, this is Megan Skidmore. Welcome to the Beyond the Shadow of Doubt podcast. My goal with this podcast has been and continues to be to bring this idea of doubt and having questions, which is traditionally a taboo topic in many faiths and or religions, out of the shadows of shame and into the sunlight. I am a life transitions coach, certified through the Life Coach School, and I work with parents of LGBTQ plus kiddos, as well as their teens who are of a conservative faith background. Welcome to episode 12. So you may or may not have noticed I've been on a bit of a hiatus for a couple of months. It wasn't really planned, nor did I see it coming. I could say that November was a busy month with business travel and family in town, and that the December holidays proved to be busier than anticipated. All of that would be true. However, it is not the whole story. If I'm honest, I vulnerably share that in hindsight, I can see that my faith journey was taking yet another pivot. I'm still processing exactly what was going on for me. And over the next little while, I will do my best to share whatever comes up for me and is also appropriate for the purposes of this podcast. I actually had several episodes written in advance of the month of November, and yet the words were just not coming when I would sit down to record. I genuinely felt stuck and almost tongue-tied. And I didn't really want to publish content in an episode simply for the sake of publishing. I wanted it to have value and meaning. And maybe there was value and maybe there wasn't to the episodes I'd already written. And maybe it was just stuff I was making up in my head. But here we are today. And I am genuinely looking forward to fanning these flames and get this fire going again. So when I was in high school, and then again in my early 20s, I learned the Spanish language. I did serve an LDS mission and I learned Spanish. So learning a second language has over time really opened my eyes to the complexity of language in general. There is a linguistic history behind every word that we say. Some of the words we use today did not exist last year. And a lot of the words that we use in this century did not exist in the previous ones. We have significantly more choices of words to use to express ourselves than, say, our ancestors did. Understanding and learning a word's origin gives context and insight and deeper meaning to the way that in which it's used present day and how that meaning may or may not link back to what was originally intended. So I love analogies. And so I want to compare this, quote, word knowledge, as it were, to it being like a river, okay? Gaining deeper etymological or word origin insight into these words in this word knowledge river, it creates bridges where once maybe symbolically existed a dam or a blockage. This bridge, this etymological insight, this bridge allows anew the flow or understanding of knowledge. And these bridges are important because therein lies the potential for new bodies of water to be accessed if they're already existing, or to develop and branch out into, symbolically speaking, rivers, streams, etc., as well as for knowledge, understanding, and insight to grow and increase. Let's take the word doubt, for instance. I did a little research on that word. It can actually be used as a verb or a noun, so context does matter. Doubt as a verb looks or sounds like to doubt. Past tense would be doubted. Present tense is doubting. And it means to call into question the truth of, or be uncertain, to lack confidence in, consider unlikely and finally, of a more archaic origin, fear or suspect. As a noun, doubt means a lack of confidence, distrust, an inclination not to believe and or accept, uncertainty of belief, or opinion that often interferes with decision making, a deliberate suspension of judgment, or a state of affairs giving rise to uncertainty, hesitation, or suspense. For instance, in the use of this sentence, the outcome is still in doubt. So why am I sharing this? Well, because of all of the descriptors of the word doubt that I've mentioned, there are two that resonated best for the purposes of the Beyond the Shadow of Doubt podcast. First, as a verb, to be uncertain, and second, as a noun, a deliberate suspension of judgment. There's more to the history of this word doubt that could contribute to the negative connotations associated with it. Circa 1200 Common Era, Douten, spelled D-O-U-T-E-N, or Duten, I think, D-U-T-E-N, meant to dread, fear, be afraid. In this sense is often obsolete. Or there's the Old French, douter, D-O-T-E-R, which means to doubt, be doubtful, be afraid. The Latin word dubitare means to doubt, question, hesitate, waver in opinion, which is related to dubious, which means uncertain, from the prefix duo, meaning two. So, in other words, with a sense of two minds, undecided between two things, which etymologically means to have to choose between two things. So the older obsolete use of doubt, meaning to dread, fear, or be afraid of, originating from Douten, is much less applicable as the meaning has evolved. The idea of wavering or to weave/sway unsteadily to and fro is actually in direct opposition to this idea of two minds, undecided between two things. I'm just thinking out loud, I wonder if the sense of fear that seems to have developed from this idea that has developed from this idea that one must decide between two things. That is often what leads to the all or nothing thinking that we engage in without even realizing it most of the time. For many, thinking that we must choose between one thing or another can create stress or anxiety, among other strong emotions, which can sometimes lead to a sense of loss or even a sense of hopelessness. Now, as the higher species, that we have been able to evolve in our ways of thinking and have in fact evolved. Unlike our family pets, the family dog or cat, we have the ability to think about our thinking, to call it into question, to ponder, and even analyze it when it may be determined to be faulty, erroneous, or confusing. So I took the time to share this because moving forward, when I use the word doubt on my podcast, these are the definitions I have in mind: to be uncertain and a deliberate suspension of judgment, unless I note otherwise. This is in general what I am referring to. So that is all I have for today, but please watch for more episodes to publish as I have more to share. I will include links in my show notes of the various websites from which I took these definitions. In the event there are others out there that have my same silly interest in etymology, please hit the subscribe button and come along with me on my journey. Share my podcast with family and friends who would benefit. I want to make sure you know I'm a proud member of the Dialogue Podcast Network at dialoguejournal.com/podcast network. The Dialogue Podcast Network features shows by Latter-day Saints who wish to bring their faith into dialogue with the larger stream of world religious thought and with human experience as a whole, and to foster artistic and scholarly achievement based on their cultural heritage. Please check the website for a list of their podcasts. I am currently creating a pilot hybrid group program. By pilot, I mean it's in the test phase. By hybrid, I mean that it will be a combination of group coaching, individual coaching, and weeks where I invite guests to speak to the group. I will simultaneously be going through a trauma certification program with the amazing Lindsay Pullman Coaching to enlarge my skill set as a coach, as well as deepen my ability to process with my clients. I would love and appreciate your help as I go through the program. It's a win-win. Those who are involved in my hybrid pilot group will get the benefit of trauma coaching as well if they desire or need to. Let's learn and grow together. Take the leap with me. The group starts the first week in February, requires a minimum 6-month commitment. It's minimal cost, $100 a month, and is limited to 10 people. If you are interested, let me emphasize, don't delay. It will be first come, first served, and after the spots fill, then the rest will be put on a waiting list. If this sounds like something you want to participate in, fill out your name and email address at the link in my show notes because it will fill up. If you have any questions about this group or anything at all, please send them to hello@meganskidmorecoaching.com. I'd love to hear from you. Or let's chat virtually. Your first chat is complimentary, no strings attached, and you can schedule at my website, https://meganskidmorecoaching.com. Until next time, thanks for joining me today.